Hello, hello out there in the Matrix. It's Carole Michaella, Desert Mermaid, stranded on the sands of sin and smoke here in shiny Las Vegas. And yes, I do miss my home, the Pacific Ocean. But my cosmic self has sent me down here on a mission to awaken and empower all of you. So stay tuned and savor the brew. Now let's power up.
Hello out there. This is Carole Michaella, Desert Mermaid. And it's another week. And this week was quite challenging for me. Don't know why, but for some reason I had this, I felt like these 7 years that my life goes in 7-year cycles. I've decided, I decided that a long time ago. But every years there's a dramatic change, and I always knew this, I call it the last 7 years, because that's I only see it as being the last 7 years. I thought it would be nice and smooth and beautiful and wonderful, but no, it's still challenging. So, but what I want to talk about today is that we all actually, of course, design ourselves before we even get here to the planet. And we design ourselves with specific tasks in mind that we want to accomplish when we get here on the planet. We have a mission, many of us. We are not just here experiencing and working with energy, but we are also trying to accomplish certain goals and work out various relationships that we had over lifetimes, kind of hopefully pay back the karma and not create too much karma anymore, so that we can eventually have to reincarnate back here. And there are some of us that are basically here to help lift up those people that are still on their path moving up and out of reincarnation. And those people perhaps don't really need to be reincarnating over and over, but they do, so that they can understand what it is to be a human, and then to be able to help the humans with a lot more empathy and compassion. So many of us are here doing that. But I've been working with people on what is called the human design life system. When people come to me and they want sort of an intuitive counseling session. And it's just an amazing way to begin this process of counseling, because it helps me really look into somebody's life and see how they design themselves. And, you get this design based on numbers and what have you that are generated somewhat like astrology, but it's very different. And it has a lot to do with there's 64 gates, which are very similar to what the I Ching with the 64 hexagrams and also the 64 codons in our DNA. It all relates. And there's a little bit of the Kabbalah in there with the channels and what have you. But basically, it sort of pinpoints your intrinsic nature and what makes you tick. And it details the sorts of people you click with and the kinds of environments that you bring out your best. It reveals your true self's underlying nature, preferences, personality traits, strengths, weaknesses, abilities, dynamics, and built-in chemistry. So it covers a lot. And it also reminds you of the needs and feelings you're either celebrating or resisting. And it explains how you can make decisions that foster happiness and fulfillment. So it's kind of cool. And then at the end of this human design, life chart, that after I go over it with people and show them how they've actually designed themselves and with what centers are open and are defined and which other centers are sort of, they're either running at full speed or they're kind of open to the world. So there's a reason for that, and you learn so much about yourself, why you are a certain way. It's made me a lot more compassionate about the people around me. I understand there's 4 different types of people, and you can't expect someone that's a generator that really goes around and makes things happen to be the same as somebody that is, a reflector that is just here on the earth to reflect out to everybody and to be like a mirror to everybody. So, and a projector who's a lot more calm and not generating things all around, but working with and assisting, and they can be leaders too. So it's made me understand people so much better. And then after I work with people on that, then I do the oracle readings, which I've been doing now for almost a couple of years, and I just love it because I just let it happen. Everything's channeled through me through this oracle reading that I do for people, and it digs up a lot of things. But I just thought for fun, you could see a video which shows how I design myself as a dancer and why that might be important to me now. And so I'm going to let our technical department go ahead and show you a video that I did just a couple of years ago, about a year and a half to 2 years ago. And this is dancing that I brought with me from other lifetimes. And so with that, I say, go for it. Okay. I guess we're back. I hope. All right. So basically, I just showed that video because I did that 1.5 to 2 years ago, and the reason why I did it is I just wanted to show people that I'm eternally youthful, and that no matter what age you are, you can retain that feeling of youthfulness through your passions and whatever ignites your passion and something that you love. That, I mean, when I dance, I use dance to soothe my soul, to heal me. When I'm sad, when I'm lonely, I dance. When I'm happy, when I'm mad, when I'm upset, whatever it is, it changes my whole energetic vibration to a place of happiness and love and joy and passion and excitement. And also the reason why I came in with that design was so that there are things that I am supposed to do in the future, and those things are going to need somebody who's been in the business of producing shows and what have you, with not just spiritual show. Well, in the past I did dance production shows, but now I'm hoping to do a beautiful, amazing multimedia spiritual shows. And so I would need to have this kind of a background for that. So perhaps that was very important for me. And it also has honestly kept me on the planet. I mean, if I did not dance, I don't know how I could have made it through some of the things that I've had to get through, going down into depressions and what have you. So it really helps bring me back. And when I can't dance, then I don't know how I'm going to stay here, to be honest with you. And I don't want to be here if I can't dance anyway. So anyway, the cool thing about doing this human design is that I love the story behind it. There's this gentleman, his name was Alan Krakauer, and he was a newspaper reporter, and I guess he did some he produced some movies or what have you, only on a small level, but he got depressed and annoyed with everything happening in the United States. So he took off and, I think he was from Canada, so I guess he was annoyed over there. They must be having the same kinds of problems over there. But anyway, so he left and he went to Europe, and while he was on a bus traveling across Spain, somebody casually remarked that he should go and check out this little island called Ibiza. And so he did. He flew over there, and I guess he must have been there for a while, because the next part of the story is where he is with his dog, and they just came in from being out in the forest area, and he looks across and he sees his cabin, of which obviously doesn't have electricity, but they use the oil lamps, and there was no oil in the oil for the oil lamp. So he saw this light on in his cabin and wondered how could that be. So he carefully went into his house, looking around, wondering what was going on, and then all of a sudden his dog started barking immediately, and it just passed out on the floor. And then he felt internal explosions going on within him, and he started perspiring and just, profusely, and something was happening to him. And then he heard a voice said, "Let's get going." And he started being channeled all this information, like 8 days and 8 nights. He was writing and drawing diagrams and what have you, and all this information came through him, and it was called the human design. And but it's based on, they talk about neutrinos are minute particles that travel near the speed of light, passing through everything. And if we, as humans, live in an atmosphere of air, the universe lives in an atmosphere of neutrinos. These are the very emissions of all the stars in the sky, and our bodies are being bombarded by trillions of them every second of the day. Because neutrinos have mass, they exchange information with everything they pass through, including us. So at the moment of birth, we are imprinted with neutrino information, which leaves a genetic thumbprint determining the nature we carry throughout life. So not only, do we have this coming through us, but the DNA that we are given because of the parents that we choose, we take on the soul memories of our ancestors and, genetic imprints also. And so it's almost like there's a big, huge computer that we all sit in front of, or maybe it's a tiny little computer. Maybe it doesn't look like one at all, but it's somewhat of a computer for the universe, and we put in all the information of where we're trying to, what we're trying to accomplish in this lifetime. And so we are in, somehow our parents are chosen for us, or we choose them somehow, the DNA, and we come through them. We may not end up with them. We might end up being, a child that has parents that die or whatever. We end up with their parents, or we are given up to an orphanage or whatever, but we just needed the DNA from our parents for the specific tasks that are ahead. And then we, have all these talents and abilities and everything. So it's kind of fun because, you get to actually see almost a diagram of what you look like. And there's all these things that are there's called centers. And some of them are chakras, but there's a couple of three extras off to the side. There's the crown center, and that's, can be open or closed. If it's open like mine is, then you are open to receiving information and inspiration from outside of yourself. And if it's defined, then you're usually one of those people that's like thinking, and categorizing and what have you. And sometimes it's difficult because you have so much going on all in your mind. But actually, that's the crown center. Then you have the mind center, and that could be defined, which means it's you're just lit up and you're thinking and categorizing and manipulating and what have you again. And so actually, I have both the crown and the mind open. So I have to sort of be careful because I can take in thought. Well, it could be good. See, if I want to take in thoughts from people, then it might be a lot easier for me than somebody else that's got their mind all wired up, firing right and left all over the place. Those kind of people really need to meditate. They really need to get going crazy. Not that my monkey brain doesn't go crazy also, even though it's open, but I do have access to information outside of this frequency, maybe perhaps a little bit easier, which works perfectly for me because I am working on being an empath and an intuitive counselor for people, and I get my information channeled. Information comes through to me from the oracle, but many people have other ways of doing it, like astrology or palms, whatever. They get the information that they can help people with through their various modalities. Then there's the throat center, and if that's lit up, then that means that you're good at verbalizing who you are and information. So you'd be a great speaker or leader, or you don't really need your throat chakra open to be a leader, but to be able to get out there and speak or sing or blog or write books or whatever, it helps to have that throat defined. If you don't have the throat defined, then you are very happy not having to get there and stand and speak in front of people and things like that. So it's just that doesn't serve you. Then you have the self center, which is right in the center of the chest. And it's actually the center of love and all of that. And the heart is not the center of love. It's kind of like it's a power center. But so again, if the self center is lit up or defined, then you know who you are, and you're able to let people know who you are, and you know where you're going and where you're heading, and you feel like you have a sort of a self-direction. If you have an undefined heart, or I should say self-center, then sometimes that's good, though, because then you're on a search to find out who you are, and that's how many people wake up in this lifetime. They're on a constant search to find out who they are and what have you. So that's perhaps a reason why you would not have the self-center opened up. And then there's the spleen center, which controls your immune system. So, if you have yours lit up or defined, then you're probably pretty strong immune-wise. And, you can get away with not taking care of yourself as well as somebody who has an undefined, open spleen center. That person would have to really watch what they eat and drink, and they can't, party a lot and things like that. They should try to really keep themselves harmoniously and balanced, physiologically speaking. The heart center, which is right where the heart would be, is actually the center of ego, willpower, power, and courage. And again, it's not the center of love. So if you have an undefined one, that means, they say it means you shouldn't make promises. And mine is defined, but I know I shouldn't make promises anyway, because I always want to make things happen for people and make people happy. And, I'm not good at saying, no, I can't, because I really want to. And so if I don't go through with the promise that I've made, then I feel really bad. It puts a lot of pressure on me. And so those people that have their hearts open should not be making promises, supposedly. Now, the emotion center is another powerful motor, and it's the center for emotions and feelings, and it has a major effect on all of us, regardless of whether it's open or defined. And it just means that you're an emotional being, and those people should be very careful, because they shouldn't make snap decisions. They need to go through a 12-hour thinking period over it. Then there's other people with their sacral center defined, and that's a very powerful motor, and it generates a lot of energy, and those are the go-getters and what have you. So there's a lot of interesting things to this design. There's the 4 types of people. There's the generators, the manifesting generators, the other ones that I was talking about, which I always get them mixed up, the reflectors and the projectors. That's right. So there's 4 different types of people. So you find out so much about yourself, and it helps people. It helps, and it really helps me, again, because I do not try to push projectors anymore. I don't try to force them to get up and get moving, and like my mother used to always tell me. Luckily, I was a manifesting generator, but back then, as a child, I was just a lazy kid. So now I'm running around generating and manifesting all over the place. And I'm sure my mother was one of those, because she didn't stop from morning till night. And she always, it seemed to me that she was trying to go as fast as she could to get everything into her lifetime. And actually, it was probably a good thing, because she did pass away pretty young in life at 55, and I was 21. So she probably had some kind of unknowing knowledge that she had to hurry up and get everything done that she wanted to do. And the interesting thing was that my mother passed away, and, well, she left me her dance business, which that is why my mother actually, I believe, sacrificed her life in a way so that she could give me that opportunity, because that's the opportunity I needed, the opportunity to run a dance studio at age 21 for 20 years and learn how to run a business and choreograph and direct shows and, develop dancers and what have you. And I remember one time I actually did 12 shows, different shows, in 2 weeks. I was directing 12 different shows with different dancers, different costumes on different stages in a matter of 2 weeks. And I don't know how the heck I did that. But I took it on like as a challenge. It was awesome. And then there was another time in my life when I took on another major challenge, and that was when I was a single mother working, and I had to take care of my ailing 91-year-old father, as well as everything else, and that meant that I had to take care of him, plus the business that he had still been running, and I had to rebuild his house and get it ready to sell. So, and I even managed to do all of that and body surf every day while I was in San Diego. So, a manifesting generator can get a lot of stuff happening. in a short period of time, and that's why they're here. They're just here to make things happen. But you know, as a manifesting generator, you really have to always have people helping you and around you. And the only person, a manifestor, is the only one that can actually do it all by themselves. And I've only met 2 of them. Done 2 charts out of 70 for manifesting generators. And I've only done 1 reflector chart. And that was amazing. Everything was open on this woman's chart. And she was just an open vessel. And in the old days, she might have been a nun or a monk or something, because you know, those kind of people have to watch out because they're taking in a lot. They can take in a lot of stuff from other people, so they have to recharge a lot. So I found that interesting. And then the only person I've ever met that has every single center defined on her chart is a shaman. And she comes to our group, our meetup group, every week. And she does everything. She's a Buddhist, she's a shaman, she does readings, she's a healer, she does blessings, oneness blessings. She, you know, is always learning new things and developing new things, and she's amazing, and I love her. She's my sister. So that's kind of cool. And she and I and Misha, who also runs a group, we like to do some things together because we feel that the 3 of us have a lot of power when we're together, and separately too, of course. So anyway, I just wanted to be able to tell people about this human design life chart system and let people know that I do the charts, and I can do them over Skype or whatever, long distance, and then send them out to you. But it's an awesome, people, they find out, like a lot of people shift right after. I spend like 2 to 3 hours. I've even spent 5 hours with somebody before. But, you know, it's a process, and people come in and they soak all this information in. By the time they're leaving, they have completely shifted. Some of them know that they are on a completely different mission. Some people know answers to questions they've pondered for a long time. Some people just have more confidence about who they are because they kind of thought they were, you know, great at certain things, but usually you find out that you're way more amazing than you could even imagine. Or if you did imagine it, then you find out that, yes, it's true. You are amazing. So anyway, I don't know what time it is. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of this, I believe. It's 6:44, I believe. So I have a little bit more time, maybe not too many seconds, but I just wanted to thank everybody for listening, and I'm feeling great about 2014. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes, and I'm hoping they're kind of smooth changes, not too erratic. But I do feel that there is a lot of shifting going on, and the next 2 years are going to be very important. I didn't feel that about 2012, although I thought it was kind of an interesting, you know, kind of change of energy, and the same thing with 2013. But for 2014, I have a different feeling completely. And so I'm sending out love and best wishes to everybody for this year, and start manifesting what you want. Just go for it. Go for your dreams. Go for your passions. And let's make this a great year. This is Desert Mermaid signing off. Till next time. Bye.